And the idea is only to give you a short introduction about the smart application. As I explained it in the previous meeting, what we did at the moment, we are going only focus on one part of the application is how to manage the data on the field with the application. And then probably we will give you support to get access to the data that you are going to upload to the platform. At the moment, like this is a pilot, we are going to join all the information in one single server. But the idea in the future is that you can manage in a private space this information. So at the moment, this is only a pilot, and the idea for the future is that you have the control of the data, the information. But at the moment, I think, or we think, is the best way to manage this information in this early step. Well, we are. Okay, other important point is like Tancredi is managing this information. It could be interesting that if you are interested to use this application to notify it to Tancredi, and also Davide that he's going to present the potentiality of this tool, and me also, it's possible to have some emails to try to help you with this process. Okay. So please let us know if you are going to use during this campaign or during the next weeks, month, the application to give you the support. Okay, that I think could be really interesting for you. Mainly you are working with a team with different person, because probably you will get to organize the information in a more easy way. And well, at the moment it's like a pilot, it's important, and also it's important to have your feedback. What do you think? What problem do you, or how do you think is possible to improve the sequences of the data for the next step to try to improve the data collection? Okay. The idea is if we generate good sequences for data collection, also it's really easy to generate new study areas, to clonate these study areas and generate your own space to manage this information. This is not only important or interesting for the European Observatory of Wildlife, but also because you can include information from other studies that you are doing, and you can manage in a private way this information. So it will be interesting also for you, not only for this project. In fact, we are using these tools for different projects within the IREC. And well, we think it's a really useful tool for managing information, mainly when you are sharing or you are participating with a small or big team. So, well, after this short introduction, Davide is beginning to give you some tips and some recommendation on some instruction to use this application. Well, I think the floor is yours, Davide.
Thank you very much, Jota. If we are all in the meeting, we can start with the presentation. Firstly, good morning to everyone. My name is Davide. I'm a person of IREC, and I work with SMART in different projects. And this morning I will say to you like the main important things to know to use SMART in wildlife ecology and data sampling. Firstly, what is SMART? SMART is an online application that is used at more than 1,100 sites in over 95 countries in the world. As you can see from the photos, it's very spread, the use of SMART in national park in Africa, Asia, and South America. The aim of the developers of the SMART is to allow different people that don't have so much money to collect data in the field with a very simple application that is free and open source. And is very useful for us to collect data and share between partners data of a project. This is the website of SMART. You can find smartconservationtool.org. And here you can find all the information that you need to use SMART and to perform all the things that we can do with this application. Firstly, I can say that you can download the application from this website. Here you can see with this section, download. I have to say one important things, take care to have between the partners always the same actualization of the application, because it's important to use the same type of SMART. If not, we can have problem with the synchronization. More deeply, the SMART is like an environment of 3 types of application. As you can see from this table, we have 3 parts, 3 main parts that are desktop, that is the application of the PC. We are smart mobile, that is the application that we use in our mobiles in the field to collect data. And then we have the connectivity with a server that allow us to share data from mobile to desktop, and in the other hand, from desktop to mobile. The server is provided by the SMART community, but if you want, you can use a private server. For sure, you don't have all the support that you can have with the SMART server. We have inside this application different things that we can use for different purpose. For example, inside the SMART application, we can set different profiles for rangers or technician or for managers. We can perform patrol, that is what we are going to see now. So going in the field with our application in the mobile and take data. Then we can visualize the data in a map, because SMART desktop has the same possibility like a GIS software. Then we can analyze the data, because we are going in the field collecting data. Then we can download the data to analyze, for example, for a distance sampling, or for example, to have the coordinates of camera trapping project, like in the observatory. So we have a lot of instruments inside this application that allow us to perform different type of studies and analysis. This is, in general way, the workflow that we can use with the SMART application. For example, from the desktop application, we can set the planning of the study and the sampling planning. So we can decide when, where, and what is the study, and we can plan with the rangers and with the technician and with the managers. Then we can create a data model, so the form that we are going to fill in our mobile. So all the information that we need to collect in the field. Then with this data model, we can create a package that we export in the mobile app, then go in the field with the mobile app and collect the field data. So for example, we are going in the field to collect, to put camera traps, like a study area in the observatory, and we can register all the points of each camera, and we can classify the habitat, and we can fill all the data that we have planned before. Then after this field data collection, the data are automatically shared with the server, and these data are downloaded in the application of the desktop. So the data then are available to be analyzed, downloaded, and all the things that we want to do with this data. So this is more or less the workflow that we are going to use with this application. Starting more deeply with the application, we can start to say about how I can reach the mobile application and how I can use this application. For example, it's available even in Android and even in Apple. You can find this application in Play Store and Apple Store. Simply, you can type in your mobile smart conservation tool, and as you can see from this screenshot, you can find the application that this application. Okay, so you can download the application. It's very light for your mobile. It's not create problem. Maybe with the ancient mobile can create some problem, but I think that in the majority of the case is very simple to download and to open this application. Then after the download of the application, we can manage some setting of the mobile to allow this application to work properly, because it's quite energy demanding and GPS demanding. So we can set the mobile to allow this application to work properly. For example, we can open settings of your mobile. This is Android, but in the Apple is the same. And for example, going to the battery, it's better to remove power saving, for example, because when we are using smart application, GPS and storage are always active. So and maybe in the period between one point and the other, the application can be latent and cannot work properly. So it's better to remove power saving. Another things that we can do is to allow smart application to use precise location, okay, and allow to use GPS all the time. This is very important because smart application is going to register all the track of our patrol. So not only the point that where we are filling the form. So it's important to allow the application to use GPS all the time. Not less important to give all the authorization to the app, the storage, the microphone, the camera, and the localization to allow the app to work properly without problem. Okay. Then we can start to use this application. Okay, after all this setting on your mobile, this is the main menu of the application. We have here in the low part these 4 menus. This is Connect, Projects, Map, and Setting. Starting from Connect, you have the possibility to download package or project. Okay, that are the forms that you will use in the field to take data. There are different ways to download a package. We will manage to send you the package of the European Observatory. For example, sending from a zip file from email or WhatsApp, and you easily open this file, and in theory, the mobile recognizes this file and open with Smart. If not, we can download the package from the server with this function Smart Connect, or with a QR code. So we will send you a QR code, and you, with your mobile, you can take a photo of the QR code and automatically download this package. Then this is the second menu, the projects. As you can see here, I have 3 projects. One of them is the package of the European Observatory of Wildlife, camera trapping data collection. Okay, so you can have as project as you want. Then we can go in the setting menu, which is quite important for the proper function of the smart mobile application. Here it's important to set the coordinates in decimal degrees, okay, and the GPS accuracy not more than 10 meters. The ideal is 5 meters, as you can see in this image, because if not, because from the default setting is 50 meters. That is quite a lot. You can imagine that you go in the field, put your camera, and the GPS have a buffer of 50 meters. When you come back in the field and to catch your camera, it's very difficult in a buffer of 50 meters to find your camera. So it's important to put GPS accuracy that is not more than 10. If your mobile doesn't allow to put 5 meters, but the ideal is more is the accuracy, better is for you. Then we can pass to the map menu. As you can see in the smart mobile application, you have a map that is can be online map, like a Google satellite or whatever you want, or offline map. So you can upload your map, your grid, your point grid, your layer in the application, and you can see the map here. And you can select from the layer. So in the map menu, you go in here in the layers tool, and you can select all the map. So as I told you before, the smart application in the desktop is like a GIS software. So you can create your base map that represents your study area with your grid point where you are going to put your camera, and then import this map in the mobile application. So in the field, you don't need different apps to go and place your camera, but you have all in the smart mobile app. Okay, you can select and deselect all the camera, all the layers. You have you can hear me?
Yes,
okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, so then in the map menu, we have even other tools. For example, all this information of the map. We can have this tool, and then we can have even the navigation. So you can, if you have your points, you can active this tool, and the application guide you to the point that you have selected. Okay, like a go-to. Then we can, the last part of the mobile application is the data recollection. When you are in the menu of the project, you can enter in one of them. For example, you can click on it, and then enter in the main page of your project. This is, for example, are all the same. The page it's all the same in all the projects. For example, here you have the map, the setting, history, and start patrol. So you can, when you are in the field, you reach your study area and you are ready to start your data recollection. So you can click on Start Patrol and you will see this page. This is the metadata page. So here the application is asking to you to fill all these metadata that are very useful for you and for us in the analysis to understand data where come from and which is the mandate and which are the person that participate in the data recollection, for example. For example, you can find the location that is your study area. In theory, we will manage to put all your study area, so we are not going to type a text, but only you can choose in a list your study area. This transport type that maybe is not so important for camera trapping studies, but for example, for a distance sampling or other type of sensors is important. The team and the station are the team, as I told you, for the station is your work group. So we will put all the institution in the application, and all you can check and search your institution and select. Okay. The mandate is the reason why you are in the field. In this case, for example, camera trapping survey. The objective and the comment are text-free space, so you can type all whatever you want. For example, weather condition or other things that is important to save for the analysis. Employees are the people that are participating in the activity. The leader is the boss of this patrol, so the responsible of the data. Okay. And the habitat, for example, you can put the classification of the habitat to know in which habitat you are performing your data sampling collection. Then, filling all the metadata, you will reach this screen. This is the database, the data model. So this is all created in the smart desktop application. Then you can change what you are seeing here. You can put whatever you want, what you need for your sampling action. Okay. In this case, we have all these menu: distance tracking, hunting data, camera traps, species sampling, vegetation classification, camera trap revision report, and audio recording. These are what we put in the past, but maybe in the future we will manage to remove or add other items. Okay. In this case, we are talking about camera traps survey. So we can click on camera traps and we will enter in this observation. Okay. So you can, whenever you are putting a camera, you can add observation. Okay. And you will find this form. So for each observation, you will find all this form and you can fill all the field that you need. Where there is this symbol, it means that is mandatory. Okay. For example, we are in the field. We reach the point of the camera traps. We put the camera traps, and with the application, we click add observation. And we can see this page. So we can set sampling point, that is the number of the point where we are going to put the camera, the ID device, If the camera have a number, a serial number, we can put here the number to identify each camera. Sampling action, that is camera trap position, removal, or revision, for example. We can put if we have byte or not. Always in a RAM project, we don't use byte, so you cannot fill it. The bearing, so which is the angle of orientation of the camera. Always we can put the camera to the north, but we can fill this field if you want. The height of the camera, the calibration, for example, now that we use the pole for the artificial intelligence calibration, we can put this information in this field. Incidences, if you have something to report, for example, in the revision, if the SD card is full, or the battery is empty, or with the camera traps was robbed. So here in incidences, we can put this information. Comments is a text, free text field. Camera trap mode, if we set the camera differently from photo, for example, we can put video or photo plus video, okay? And then this is other two field experimental point that we use in our project to, if you have to put two camera in the same point, you can set experimental point and put the other ID device, okay? So filling all this information, we are doing an observation. When you hand your observation, you will find the observation like this, camera trap. This is a one observation. And then you can, with this button, orange button, save, you can save the observation, okay? So you can save observation, and then you can continue your data collection, adding other observation. At the end of the data sampling, so you are put all the 15, 20, 25 camera traps. So you have created 15, 20, 25 observation. You are saving your observation. Then you can end the patrol. So you can, this is very important because you are tracking all your activities. So if you not end the patrol, the GPS continue to track your movements and till you're home, and it's not idle, and you are not sending the data to the server. So it's important after the end of the sampling data collection, with this functionality, with this button patrol, you open this window and click end patrol. Okay, so with end patrol, you can close the data collection and send the data to the server. So this is the mobile application. Then we can switch to the desktop application for a general introduction of the main use of the desktop app. I try to okay. If you can see my screen, this is the desktop application. It's composed by different parts. For example, we can see the menu, that is the map, the patrol, surveys, sensor, entity, incident, queries, reports, and plans. These are all the tools that we can use in the desktop application to plan, to create data model, and to analyze the data. in the beginning, you will download the smart desktop application from the website, as I told you before. And the first things that you have to do is to install the plugins, because if not, you will not have all these possibility in the application. For installing plugin, you have to go in the file section, install new plugin. And as you can see, you will be able to find all the plugins that in my computer are already installed. For example, you can set all available sites, and you will find all the plugins that are important for your application. So you can easily select all these files and then install it, okay? Then close the smart and reopen, and you will have all these tools that I have here in my application. This is general information, and I think that you will not you will not perform all the creation of a new project, because the project of the observatory is already created. But I will do some explication. I will tell you some general information about creating a project. For example, we have the possibility to set all the metadata of the project, for example, employees. So you can put here all the people that are going to work with the data sampling collection and the analysis of the data. You can easily create profiles, okay, and adding in your project. You can put study area list. Okay, for example, so each study area of the observatory is possible to add here. So you can add easily with this command. And you can set all the base map, for example. Yeah. You can add your border of your study area. So you can visualize the data inside your study area. And these are all the metadata that you can put in your project. But as I told you, the project of the observatory is already done. It's in all the study area, and the profiles are already inserted. Here I can show you the data model, for example. This is all the data that you can visualize in the mobile app. These are all the fields that you can fill in the app. As I told you, distance sampling, camera traps, hunting data, feces sampling, habitat, and audio recording. Okay, so you can create here, adding category and adding attribute, your form, your personal form. Then with this data model, you can create other small model that not comprehend all these data, but only camera traps, only distance sampling. So you can select one of these categories, or you can use all these categories, as I showed before in our apps. With this data model, we can create the package of the mobile, and we can send to the mobile for the data sampling collection. We go into field data, smart mobile, packages, So here we can create packages from the data model and send to the mobile. This is only a general information. All the packages are already done. So as I told you before, we will send the package with email or another type of installation. But this is the methodology to create packages. From the data model, you create a package, a form that you will fill in your mobile app. Okay. Then I can show you, for example, patrols. This is our project for camera trapping survey. These are all the patrol that we have done till now. You can filter the patrol for different fields. For example, this is filtered by the study area. So when you're going to patrol menu, you are encountering all the patrol divided by study area. For example, opening the study area, you can see that there are different patrols. So different days or different data field collection that was performed in this study area. This is the name of the leader and the date. Okay. If you click on it, the program opening this page. In this principal page are present the metadata. If you remember, in the mobile app, there was the first page in the project was the metadata page. So all the data that you filled in this page are present here. And you can understand the importance to fill the metadata, because if not, I open this patrol and I'm not able, if I don't prove in the map where is the points, where are the points, which patrol is it is. But here with, for example, the metadata, the station, I know that this data are coming from this study area. So it's very important, and I underline the importance to fill all the metadata to allow us to recognize all the patrols and to understand and filter the data. After we can go into the data. Okay. These are the data. I don't know if you are confident with CyberTracker, that is the previous app of the same developers. The output of the app is quite similar, like an Excel CSV file. Okay. Here you can see only some data of my data collection, because I like a hierarchical file. So inside each observation, so each row is an observation. If you remember, in the mobile app, you perform an observation when you are put camera. This an observation. This an observation. So all these rows are an observation, an action that you have done, and you are collected data. If you click on it, as I told you, it's a hierarchical data file. We can say the observation of this action. So, for example, the sampling point, the ID device. Here in the sampling action, I set camera trapping setup, calibrated with the intelligent artificial intelligence, and the camera trap mode photo. Okay, so these are the data that you have filled in the field. are present here. And here, for example, a classification of the habitat that can be interesting in our studies, okay? So here you can find all your observations, okay? Then we can visualize in the map. This is the GIS tool present in the smart desktop. These are my grid of the cameras with the track, okay? So it's quite good because we have the track, and when we come back to review or to remove the camera trap, we can follow the track, okay? So here you can see, and here you can put even the Google satellite of base map or whatever you want, okay? Then you have your review page where you can check all the data, okay? This is more or less the visualization of the data. I will show you the last thing that I consider important for our purpose, that are the queries. So now you have all the patrol here in your patrol menu, but you want to export data to analyze and to store your data out of the smart application. So you have to create a query. Here in the query menu, you have this green plus. You have a lot of possibility, but now I can show you only the more useful, for example, the new observation query, because now we are talking about observation. You have possibility to investigate the incident summary or other type of data that we can take with the smart. For example, we can see all the data of camera trapping of this project. We can set the date, okay, and run query. Here you can see all my datas, okay, that are present in this project with all the information that I collected in the field. So I can filter this information. I can select only one study area. I can select only one type of action or whatever you want. And then I can export this information. You can export like a CSV file or like a XML file or a shape file as you want. In this case, I export like CSV. These are general information about the projection, the separator, and the direction, okay? I can set finish. The export is done, okay? And then I can go and find a moment. Okay. Okay. So I can open the file in Excel. So I can divide. And here you have all your data. So after you have imported all the data in the smart application of your camera trap survey, you have the possibility to download all the data, to have coordinates, that is important, obviously, and all the other information of your survey. and this is very easy and very useful for analysis. Okay. So for me, it's all. It's very brief explication of a smart possibility. I can tell you that there are many more possibilities with a smart application, but it's quite long to explain all the possibilities. So if you have questions, you can ask me, and I will be pleased to answer you. It's all clear? You have question about the project of in the European Observatory? How we can manage the project?
Okay, only to comment 2 points. One, at the moment, this part of the desktop, we are going to develop after the summer other meeting to give you access to this part of the application. At the moment, the idea is that when you send the data, we can send you this information in an Excel format in the way that you can manage this information easily. This is mainly because we have to generate all the rights to get access, and like we are a lot of people, it's important to fix it correctly to avoid any problem. So this is the reason don't do it in this moment. That probably those persons that are interested to use this application, we can give you access to this project to get access. Okay, so at the moment the idea is you send the data and then we have this information, we can filter, and then we can send you this information as early as possible. Okay, so it's important to have a communication between us in this part of the project. Okay, to give you access to the information. Another point that has not explaining but probably could be interesting only to know you. What David explaining is the patrol function that is a specific sampling process to collect data, but also it's possible to collect data at the same time from other different things. What I'm meaning is that you are in the field and you are performing a distance sampling, for example. So you are recording the track and also the animal that you are recording in your sampling track. But imagine that you are only focusing one species, for example, the deer, and you don't have the possibility to record other different things. For example, a set of badgers. Then there is an option within the app that you can collect this information, but this information is not uploaded to the patrol that you are developing. It goes to the different things. This is like, I think the app is, it goes like incidents. I think, no, it's true. It's right, Davide? The incidents. So you can highlight 2 different databases working at the same time. You don't have to switch off the application to change and to record the data. You can do it in the same moment, only modifying a little using other different part of the application. This is an interesting thing that sometimes could be useful for you, that you can incorporate data that is not the focus information from your sampling with the same application and in the same time. Okay, only like a clarification.